Chapter 34. The devas witness bad omens at the place of sacrifice. Brahma recounted to the celestial sage the terrifying events that unfolded when Vīrabhadra, the fiery manifestation of Shiva's anger, set forth with the Ganas to punish Dakṣa. The air grew heavy with dread, and the heavens displayed signs that foreshadowed the impending doom of Dakṣa's grand sacrifice. These were no ordinary omens. They were harbingers of divine retribution, sent to warn those who had dared to dishonour the supreme power of Shiva. As Vīrabhadra and his formidable entourage approached, Dakṣa and the assembled devas began to perceive strange and terrifying phenomena. The first of the ill omens manifested in Dakṣa himself. His left eye, arm and thigh throbbed uncontrollably. These involuntary spasms, considered inauspicious in the cosmic order, were clear signs of calamity. Try as he might, Dakṣa could not dismiss the growing unease that gripped him. Then the earth itself rebelled. The sacrificial ground trembled violently in an earthquake, as though the very land sought to reject the sacrilege being committed there. High above, the midday sky displayed an unsettling sight, stars gleaming faintly in broad daylight, their presence an undeniable marker of disruption in the natural order. The quarters of the horizon grew dark and grimy, as if mourning the events to come. The sun, that eternal source of light and life, appeared corrupted and defiled. Its surface was dotted with countless circlets, casting eerie, fractured shadows over the land. The brilliance of the heavens faltered as blazing stars began to fall earthward. These celestial bodies, often seen as symbols of order and harmony, now hurtled downward in chaotic zigzags or plunged straight to the ground, their fiery descent a portent of chaos. Above Dakṣa's head, a flock of vultures circled ominously, their dark wings spreading shadows over the sacrificial platform. Their presence, unrelenting and oppressive, seemed to mock the grand ritual. Jackals began to howl in the surrounding wilderness, their eerie cries echoing across the sacrificial site. From the heavens, meteors fell like venomous scorpions, their luminous trails resembling the sting of divine anger. The winds rose to a deafening roar, stirring whirlwinds that carried clouds of dust, locusts and moths. These chaotic gusts tore through the sacrificial ground, scattering offerings and decorations alike. Even the grand platform, meticulously constructed for the yajna, was not spared. The winds tore at it with relentless fury, lifting and toppling the structure as though it were no more than a fragile toy. The devas and other participants in the ceremony found themselves afflicted in horrifying ways. Many began to cough and vomit blood, their bodies convulsing violently. Chunks of flesh and fragments of bone erupted from their mouths, a grotesque display of their helplessness. Their once stable forms wavered like lamps flickering in a storm, and their limbs trembled as though struck by invisible weapons. The eyes of Dakṣa and the others underwent unsettling changes. At times they resembled parched lotuses, wilting under the harsh summer sun. At other moments they appeared as dew-laden flowers, trembling in the early morning breeze. Occasionally they mirrored the pale, forlorn glow of night-blooming lotuses, and sometimes they seemed like Kumuda flowers fading in the unforgiving light of dawn. These eerie transformations reflected the torment within their souls. Blood began to rain from the heavens, staining the earth and the sacrificial fire alike. The quarters of the sky became shrouded in an unnatural darkness, a gloom that seemed to smother all hope. From this suffocating void emerged a strange and terrifying blaze, its flickering flames casting monstrous shadows that struck terror into the hearts of all present. Even Vishnu, the preserver of the cosmos, was not immune to the terror that gripped the sacrificial ground. Along with the other devas, he fell to the earth, overwhelmed by the sinister portents. "We are doomed!" they cried in despair, their divine forms collapsing like trees uprooted by a raging flood. Their cries were pitiful and desperate, their once mighty voices reduced to feeble wails. The devas lay sprawled upon the ground, some motionless as if struck dead, others twitching and bouncing like lifeless balls in the hands of fate. Their cries of anguish mingled with groans of fear, creating a cacophony of despair. Even Vishnu's divine radiance seemed dimmed, his power blunted by the overwhelming force of the omens. The devas stumbled and collided like helpless tortoises swept away by a powerful current. Amidst this chaos, a voice resounded from the heavens, ethereal, disembodied and filled with divine authority. It echoed across the sacrificial grounds, each word imbued with the weight of inevitability. The voice spoke, "Fie upon you, O Dakṣa! Your arrogance and folly have brought you to this dire fate. You dared to insult Shiva, the Supreme Lord, and now you shall reap the consequences. Great misery will befall you and all those who have gathered here in your defiance. Devas, your cries of despair will not save you from the wrath that approaches." The words struck Dakṣa like thunderbolts, and his composure crumbled entirely. Trembling in abject fear, he turned to Vishnu, the consort of Lakshmi, his protector and lord. Falling to his knees, Dakṣa clasped his hands in supplication, his voice quivering with desperation. In his heart, he prayed fervently to Vishnu, hoping against hope that the Preserver might intercede on his behalf. But even as Dakṣa pleaded, the signs around him left no doubt. The wrath of Shiva was unstoppable, and the sacrilege committed here would not go unpunished. The sacrifice, meant to honor the divine, had become a stage for the unfolding of cosmic justice. The storm of vengeance had arrived, and there was no escaping the fury of the destroyer.